Hello and welcome back to the channel. We are doing something slightly different today because I just felt like being different and trying something out, possibly to partially deal with stuff and maybe explain stuff and just kind of maybe have a bit more fun whilst going through it. I don't know, it might offend some people the way I portray this, but we'll see how it goes anyway. But this is my sim self. Say hello to me. So for those of you that don't know, my real name is Rosie, so this is Rosie. Smitan is her last name in this because it's my YouTube name. And you can hear in the background there's someone, so we'll just zoom out for me. Oh, and there's another character which we will introduce very shortly. So this is, oh, that was my door. It's I've got my windows open, so it's having a draft time. Ah, bad camera angles. This beautiful person here, which is currently cooking, is my boyfriend. In this he is called Sean the boyfriend because I didn't want to give his last name away and I didn't really know what else to put his last name as. So Sean the boyfriend, who obviously I'm in a relationship with. I only just got them in a relationship, so we have to work on the friendship side of things because technically we're best friends, and he's a gardener, as you can see there. He's also active, loves the outdoors, and a geek. And my traits are... Shut up, door! Ugh. Just have to keep it open. There we go. My traits, here we go. Family-oriented, creative, geek, and a muser, because I have the painter extraordinaire, and Sean also has the collector because he has the botanist, freelance botanist thing. And then we have two other sims that live here. So this sim, who looks vaguely like Rosie, is Anxiety. So this is Anxiety, who we live with. First name Anne, second name Anxiety. She is clumsy, a loner, erratic, and also a muser because she is an extension of Rosie, which I'll explain a bit further. She has the musical aspiration sort of thing, which I'll also explain a bit later. And she also has the creepy walk, which I will explain. And then over here, what are we doing in here? Oh, I'm busy on the computer. We have the lovely Debbie Downer, who is mean, gloomy, a slob, and also a muser, but she has the writing, like best-selling author aspiration. That TV is a bit loud. I hope that wasn't too loud for you guys, because it was hurting my ear holes. But, so this series, from the title you've seen, is called Living with D and A, not DNA, as in what makes up humans, but D and A, which is Debbie and Anne, or depression and anxiety, which I know seems a bit crazy, but for this series we have personified my depression and my anxiety into characters, Anne and Debbie. So Debbie obviously represents depression because she's Debbie Downer, and Anxiety represents anxiety. Duh. Very straightforward. So I made Ang very skinny because my anxiety makes me very self-conscious, which makes me think like, oh, I'm so fat, I need to be skinnier, and I have like a bit of like dysmorphia sometimes when I actually am slimmer. I'll still see myself as chunkier and stuff. I'm not exactly the way I want to be, I'll be honest with you. She also has her makeup on at all times. She has a fringe covering her forehead because I used to be really anxious about my forehead. I used to think I had such a man brow because I've got like my dad's brow line, so I used to think I looked masculine. Which sounds probably ridiculous to some people, but other people might relate. So I always had a fringe when I was younger. I used to dye my hair with blonde streaks and stuff because I thought my natural hair colour was gross and I didn't like it, but now I'm older and I'm like, oh, my natural hair colour is actually okay, it's acceptable, and it's me, so I'll accept it for who I am. She has a creepy walk because I feel like when I'm anxious I'm quite tense and I slouch a bit more and I try to hide myself a bit more, and there wasn't really a walk that did that because the sloth walk or the sleepy walk or whatever it is didn't quite fit, and the goofy walk didn't fit, so I just went with the creepy walk, so she walks like a vampire. Debbie represents my depression, and she is mean because when I'm depressed I'm quite mean to myself. She's gloomy because obviously when you're depressed you are sad, so that's why she's gloomy. And she's a slob because when I am really feeling low I tend to neglect myself and my surroundings. Gross, I know, but it's the reality of when some people go through depression. I should say, disclaimer, a bit late, I'll probably put it at the beginning as well, but I'll say it now. Disclaimer, these are just the way I have personified my experience with these two things that I deal with, these two mental illnesses that I go through. So this is just the way I've made them into characters for this Let's Play. So other people will experience these things completely differently. There's many traits in the Sims game. This is like a really bad camera angle, so we'll just look at Anne being all serious. So there's many traits in the Sims that could actually represent these two things quite well. Like, for example, Anne has clumsy and loner and erratic, because when I feel anxious, I am clumsier, but I don't think I'm not necessarily clumsier than normal, but anytime I am clumsy or like fumble with something, I get really stressed about it, and I have literally cried over spilt milk numerous times in my life. Not gonna lie, that has happened. See, like, that's the creepy walk. Isn't it beautiful? She looks fab. But yeah, so there have been times that when I've been clumsy, I've overreacted. So there's that going on. Erratic, because you have crazy mood swings, as right now she's feeling sad because of her insanity, or erraticness because they've changed it to erratic, and it says shmoo shmoo shmoo. Sometimes wild mad thoughts enter one's head. This is one of those times. Very relatable. And loner, because when I'm feeling anxious, I don't want to leave the house. I don't want to interact with people because I feel like I'm gonna... Debbie, get out of that bed. Also, you get out of that bed. If you're gonna go cry in a bed, go cry in your bed that you two share. Go on, go cry it out. And Sean, you're the reason that they're probably doing that. So go sit there. You can carry on talking to me all you want, but I need you to move so I can get Debbie to sleep in the correct bed. Why are you feeling playful? Self-proclaimed Lord of the Bees. Okay, so she's interacted with the bees. That's cool. No, Sean, get off the bed. I need you to sit there. Go on, go sit over there. Go. And sleep. Go, Debbie, go, go, go. There we go. Okay, sorry. Oh, we're all in the same room. How convenient. But I thought it'd be quite interesting to do a series where I sort of play through with these characters, and obviously Rosie is me, the actual me, so I have given those, like, the positive traits, I suppose, in my personality to her, and then these two represent different sides of the negative stuff that's going on. I thought it could be quite fun as well, because obviously, like, Sims who are slobs will aggravate the other Sims, which can be quite amusing, and being erratic will be quite interesting, and also being clumsy could be quite interesting. We'll see what happens there, and also how they interact with the other two of Rosie and Sean, because Debbie's probably going to be quite mean. She also keeps wanting to flirt with Sean, which is not cool. You are part of my persona. You do not get to date my boyfriend. Simple. Just putting that out there. You two stay away. I've also made them sisters, like these two sisters, and they're just roommates with me and Sean because that's accurate to real life. He has to deal with it because he lives with me. So, well, he will be living with me by the end of the month. We're still prepping the house, but by the end of the month we should be moving in, which will be exciting. Yay! And then he will have to deal with it every day. Right now he pretty much deals with it every day anyway, because we see each other pretty much all the time, but he will have to actually live with them. So that's why I have them here. Originally, when I built the house, I had it so we had our bed, and then either side they had a bed, because obviously my anxiety and my depression don't just disappear when I'm asleep. But I thought that was a bit weird, and I didn't like the way it looked, so I made them their own space in my office, because this is where I will spend a lot of my time as my sim self, doing the things that I want to do when I move into my actual house by the end of the month. Gonna keep saying that because I'm really excited about moving. So yeah, I thought it'd be interesting to sort of see what happens. I'm not necessarily going to always intervene with what these characters are up to. I will obviously make sure that Sean goes to his job and does things towards making that better, because, Debbie, really? That was just inappropriate. That's because she's a slob. And now she's robbing my computer, so that's going to be quite interesting. And it's raining! Real me in real life loves the rain. I don't know if Sim or... what are they? Ooh, some sort of insects. I've never seen those dragonflies before. That's cool, and I've seen the fireflies many times. So obviously Debbie seems to be trolling the forums. That's not very nice of you, Debbie, but she's a downer. What can I say? So it'll be quite interesting to see how everything plays out, as long as I can make sure that my sim self and my boyfriend sim self stay as a united front, because that's what we're supposed to be, and that's what we currently are in real life. So it'd be a bit rubbish if he starts randomly flirting with the other two in the house, because, you know, Sims do what they want. And this house is not the house that we're going to be moving into. It is just a very basic bungalow type setup, because I tried to make it quite alright looking on the outside as well. And it has the same amount of rooms I think maybe just a bit less than the one we're going to be moving into. So like this is actually what our bedroom's going to look like when we move, because we're going for a sort of like oriental scheme. And that's actually what my living room is like, my plan to look like, except for it has a bay window rather than like a hexagonal sort of bay window rather than this. This looked nicer for the aesthetic. My office is a bit smaller in a different shape. We only have one bathroom in the next place, but we have a separate dining room and kitchen in the other place, so technically same amount of rooms, a bit less. And we don't have a giant greenhouse thing or a giant garden, but for the sake of this Let's Play, we do, because it's imaginary, basically. An imaginary house for my strange idea of playing through these things. My mum once suggested I do sort of, because I did illustration and animation as a degree, she suggests maybe I do animations based around what I go through with my depression and anxiety, but I thought maybe playing it in The Sims would be quite interesting too. So that's what we're going for. House is a bit bland in certain areas because I haven't really decorated it. We can do that as we go along. Money technically isn't going to be a massive thing. Like if I need to add in money for whatever reason, I will. I probably shouldn't have to. So that's not like going to be the main focus. It's literally going to be the dynamic between the 4 people in the house and maybe other characters that will come in and out of the series as we go. I know introductions to series aren't always the best episode, and maybe it's like by the 2nd, 3rd episode things will start to pick up and be a bit more interesting, so looking forward to that. But yeah, so I explained why Anne looks the way she does. Debbie looks the way she does because she symbolises depression, so I made her quite pale because I don't go out in the sun a lot when I'm feeling really low, because I don't go outside a lot. I didn't want to make them both loners because that would just be a bit boring, I felt, so I tried to like balance out all the traits. And as I said, you could have various other traits to symbolise these things, like glutton when I'm depressed. Sometimes I overeat because I'm comfort eating, so that could fit in. Also, for anxiety, squeamish could be a trait that you might want to use, because oftentimes when I'm feeling really anxious I feel quite sick and I can't eat, so it's like the complete opposite, so it's very weird dealing with both of them at the same time. And also with depression, you could use the trait lazy. Not saying people who are depressed are lazy, but often you don't have motivation to do things. You tend to sleep at really random hours of the day because you sometimes, like at night, because of my anxiety, I can't switch my brain off. It just goes and goes and goes and goes and goes. So I have like insomnia during the nighttime, but then in the daytime I'm shattered, so I will end up sleeping in the day sometimes, which would be sort of how the lazy trait would work, because you're always sleeping at random hours and doing random naps and stuff. So there's all sorts of traits that you could have instead. I went for these because, as I said, they sort of suit the majority of how I experience these things. So it'll be quite interesting to see what happens, because I had like ideas of Debbie's obviously going to be quite a mean character, so she'll probably be quite mean to my Simself, and partially mean to my boyfriend Simself, I guess. We'll see what happens there. Hopefully not too much, because I'm not mean to him. I'm quite nice to him, but you know, my depression is a different entity of its own at the moment in this. And also with the... oh, look at Sean cleaning up, he's such a good boy. I also have her like all dressed in black because, you know, when you're feeling depressed, you're feeling like you're in a dark place, and black is a dark colour. But it's not a bad colour in like the real world, but when you're feeling in a dark place, you know, it makes sense. So it kind of worked out. She has kind of messy hair. She doesn't really look after it because, again, I was going with the whole like she doesn't quite take care of herself, because when I'm feeling quite depressed I neglect myself quite a bit. It's very rubbish, but it's true. I imagine anxiety and Debbie will get on quite well, because, you know, I have both of them and they're often there together fighting my insides, so I thought that worked out. And then I have like, you know, typical Simself meet. Did I say what my traits were? Oh yeah, family oriented, creative and geek, because I like video games. Sims, that's one of them. I like other games too, but I tend to play this one the most. Oh, I haven't painted the outside of that part of the greenhouse. How embarrassing, I'll have to do that. Oh, I'm getting attacked by bees. I actually used to have bees. My family used to keep bees, so it's not unfamiliar to me to have them around. It was quite an interesting thing. I think we had like 2 or 3 hives at one point, which is quite cool. I liked having bees, they were pretty awesome. Yeah, that's fixed. Okay, cool. I don't think I've missed anything else. If I have, I'll fix it as I go along. But I have all this set up so Sean can do his gardening stuff. We have the woodworking bench because I eventually want to have my own upcycling business where, you know, you have furniture, you fix it, you change it into some other type of furniture or something, and I painted that wall by accident. I didn't mean to do that. Thanks, game. So just fix that again, back into build mode. So that should be fixed. There we go. Okay, cool. And then I also have my office space here, which has the computer and the TV, because technically I have my TV as my computer screen in the real world, and I have my PS4 hooked up to it as well, so I can play various games through it. So it's got my PC and my PS4 hooked up to it. And then, you know, I record YouTube videos, so that's why I've got the PC set up. I also do illustration via the computer, but that's not a thing in The Sims. So we have this for my creative outlets in the art side of the world. And in the new house, my office will double up as a spare bedroom, so hence the bedroom stuff. And eventually it's going to triple up, I suppose would be the term, as a room where I will be having orphaned kittens, or I'm going to foster them because I'm a crazy cat person. Well, I wouldn't say I'm a crazy cat person, I'm just a very doted cat person, and I want to help out orphaned kittens and older cats who might not get adopted quite so easily, because I don't like the idea of them living in shelters all their lives when they could have a nice time with me in my space. But obviously older cats would probably roam most of the house, whereas the orphaned kittens, if they are under a certain age, I would keep them confined to that room until they got a bit older, and also keep them confined to that room for quarantine purposes if they happen to have any illnesses or stuff that I need to like heal up. Hey, look, I'm playing The Sims whilst playing The Sims. Woo, Simception going on here. But yes, so I think it's going to be quite interesting. Sean actually has a task that I was supposed to do, but I've kind of been ignoring it. So he has work in 24 hours, he needs to achieve gardening level 2, and he also needs to purchase a seed packet. So let's go over here and we will purchase seeds. In another game that I'm playing, which is an offline one, which I might show you guys at some point, I have a sim in the gardening career, but she's gone down the floristry branch. I'm gonna have Sean go down the botanics, like botanist even branch, because that's more the kind of thing that I think he would do. He's actually a gardener, but he does like garden maintenance and stuff. But to make it work in The Sims, he's gonna do that version, so where he learns more about plants and stuff. Let's open these packets, see what we get. Oh, I got some apples and some plantains, very nice. We got, what are you? We got some holly and some bluebells, some basil and sage. Or basil, as I'd actually pronounce it. I know I said basil, I wouldn't normally pronounce it that way. Ooh, green pea, I haven't had them before. And I haven't had bell peppers yet. And carrots, that's exciting. So I'm going to get him to plant all of this fantastical stuff. Trying to think of where's the best place to plant each thing. It's currently summer in the game, so that's fall and spring. That doesn't tell me anything. That is summer and fall, so we might as well plant one of them. Yep, just one, thank you. And spring, so plant that inside. Summer, plant that outside. Go away. There we go. That is fall and winter, summer and spring. Go away! Put that outside as well. What are you? Summer. Okay, so you can go over there. And I think apple's probably going to be like fall. Yeah, okay, so these need to go indoors, which is totally fine. And then eventually I can move them outside. I might move one of these inside for the tree, because I don't want it to be... Can I put that there? Oh, I can. That's good. So, put an apple tree in. Come on, sir, you need to come plant these things. I don't need to just put them out. Okay, off you go. Stop watching television. Put these inside. Did I just put a second herb out here? What herb's this? What are you? You're a basil bush. And what did I put here? Basil. Okay, so I don't need 2 basils. We need this one. And holly. Can all go in there. That's fine. The apple failed to germinate. That's a bit of a shame. Can you go in here? Oh, he's going to try plant it again. Oh, Debbie's getting attacked by bees. Stop trying to plant the apple. Okay, I'm gonna move it over to there. You can try plant it in there and see what happens. Is it just because it's in a small pot that it won't plant, maybe? Leave me alone for a moment and do what I'm telling you to do. He wants to enthuse about a new show. We can do that too. Debbie and Anne both don't wear shoes in their everyday outfits because if I am feeling either of those things, I don't leave the house. So why would I wear shoes? I also have some sort of vendetta against shoes in real life because I have weird, like, I call them hobbit feet. They're not hairy like hobbit feet, but they're like small enough and wide and flat, so I can't wear Converse and things like that. My shoes are very hard to get generally. Like, I struggle to get shoes, which sucks in the real world, so Debbie and Anne represent that by not having shoes and wearing their bare feet most of the time. They also dress very monotone or monochrome, I should say, because again that is sort of true. That is what I tend to do. Okay, so the apple's just refusing to work with me right now, so I'll try that again later. I imagine the plantain's gonna do... No, the plantain works. That's weird. Okay, so I don't get why the apple tree is being a jerk face whilst everything else is fine. Maybe if I plant it outside, just gotta go here and go back there and then see if I can do this. Plant. Oh, Debbie's talking to me. How's this going? We're talking about writing. Oh yeah, that's what I was going to say. So when I feel quite depressed, oh Debbie. When I'm feeling depressed, I sometimes write on a blog or in a journal, or write down things sort of in a diary type of format. Oh, Sean's getting attacked by bees. Nice. Did you water everything? Go around watering everything, please. And you planted them, yeah. Okay. So yeah, as I said, I will write things down more because it's better to get it out of my head and on paper. So I gave her the writing aspiration because that made sense. And when I'm feeling anxious, I will sometimes listen to music or sing to music because it distracts me a bit more from what's going on in the brain. And then me, I gave the painting one because it's the closest thing to illustration that there is in the game, and I'm a creative person, so it makes sense. And then they all have the muser trait, so it makes sense because these two are extensions of me. That's what we're going with, which is why they look kind of like me, except for Debbie's slightly chunkier and paler and has all the dark makeup and dark clothes and dark hair because as I said, comfort eating, don't really look after myself, let myself go a bit more. And then Anne is the opposite, where I neglect myself in a completely different way, where again I don't go outside. I am very anxious about my appearance, so makeup and hair being different from the natural me because of, you know, fear. Why is Sean uncomfortable? What's wrong? Oh, because he got attacked by bees. I'm sorry. I'll come make you feel better. Let's come and give him a heartfelt compliment and tell an engaging story. What are you doing? Okay, so she wants to talk about warm temperature, so that's fine. Oh, yeah, bad back. That is very accurate to real life, Sean. Why are we all so upset about bees?
Remix.
Hey, stop talking to my boyfriend. Go away. Let me talk to him. Oh, he's going in the toilet. This is awkward. Stop! Stop! Abort mission. Go over there. Let him pee. Let the man pee. There we go. This episode's gonna actually come to an end very shortly. I know not much happened in the episode, but oh, Anne's just running around like a lunatic. I do not want free earbuds. Thank you, Nancy Alarm Grab, for that offer. So Anne's just enjoying the rain, which is quite true, especially when I used to be anxious when I was younger. I'd often go for walks when it was raining. As sad as this sounds, because people can't tell that you're crying if it's raining, which is so sad but true. Come on, go be nice to your boyfriend, like I told you to. And oh, here comes Creepy. What are you doing? Oh, you're gonna watch TV, that's fine. And Debbie is embarrassed because cannot unsee. Apparently she walked in on Sean. Not cool, Debbie. Not cool. We don't appreciate that. You're not actually going to bed though. You're just smelling up the place over here. So off she goes. Everyone seems to be spending time in my office, which is quite interesting. Oh, there's Sean and I being romantic, and Debbie doesn't like it. Oh, it's funny. And we don't like the fact that Debbie smells. Very true. So I want to get these guys' friendships up more, like I said. So let's see if cloud gazing will do that. And there you go, that's what Anne was wearing, and that's the sort of clothes she tends to wear, where it's like hides my body, but it's like sort of comfy clothes. Again, Debbie's sort of similar, where it's like body hiding, and then if I'm having a normal day, I wear stuff like this. I often wear leggings and jeggings, which are tight fitting, and I know that's completely opposite to baggy clothes, but that's what I wear when I'm feeling a bit better about myself and normal. So we're going to leave these two to make friends. We have Anne, she seems quite happy. She really likes the rain, so that's cool. Great time in the rain, and is drenched but is having a blast in the rain. Whereas Debbie is still feeling depressed. Where are we going now? Oh, that's my timer. Oh, she's going to go play in the rain. Let's see if playing in the rain makes Debbie happy, and then we'll finish. She looks so depressed. Oh, so accurate. Oh, just like walk through my face. Thank you. Not awkward at all. Oh, she loves the rain too. They're so accurate to me. It's incredible. She's gonna run around, have a run through Sean. Oh, that's not very nice. Stop it. Stop it now. Okay. Oh, she's so happy. I don't seem to have any feelings about the rain. Oh, go away, Debbie, you smell. And Sean doesn't appear to have anything about the rain. He has, like, you know, the embarrassment from Debbie walking in on him, which probably happened quite a bit because I feel like she has no boundaries. And how are we doing on that? So we got level 1 gardening, so we need to work on that. Which, where are we up to? That's not bad, that'll be close. He needs to shower as well, so we'll sort that out. I, on the other hand, have no job currently because, accurate to real life, I am too anxious and depressed to leave the house most of the time, and therefore would struggle to have an average job. So I do sell illustrations and stuff now and again, but you know, I could do with more. Why am I got mischief skill? Video gaming skill. I'm not really feeling the mischief. Can't say that that's very accurate. Well, Anne's acquired the mischief skill. Why are you guys all so mean? Oh, Debbie's making herself vomit from the smell. Cool. Why don't you go do something about it then? Nope. You're just gonna walk in here? She has like the tired, lame walk. Oh, she's gonna go play with the bees again. Glutton for punishment. Yep.
Beepsies.
Yep.
Neeb. Oh, Neeb.
What are you doing now? Disturb. Oh, Debbie. You're just a nightmare. Very accurate. And there we go. Showering, looking at some privacy. Sorry. And there's me having a nice time. So I think I'll end this episode on here. This was just the introduction episode. So as I said, not very exciting. Not much happened. We got to see a little bit of each person's character. Debbie is gross and is weird. I'm just, you know, kind of okay, and Sean's great. So, oh, apparently I'm feeling flirty. That's interesting. But yeah, so things will progress as we go through. There'll be more characters introduced. I have some ideas for like other characters to do with representing other issues that people go through. So like maybe someone who represents being self-conscious, or someone who, like, I was thinking of doing Misery and Company, because Misery loves company, so I was going to have them as like a couple and have Company's all like self-assured and arrogant and blah blah blah, and then have Misery obviously as like gloomy and they're a bit clingy, and but they get on well with Debbie and they get on well with Anne. I thought that'd be quite funny for them to have like their own sort of friendship groups, or maybe even an actual club group where it's, you know, Misery and Company. That would be quite good. Maybe introduce like other people from my family and other people from my life, or from Sean's life, or just like other characters that could come in. I thought that'd be quite interesting. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. Oh, it looks like Debbie's actually gone for a bath. How good of her. She's actually not neglecting herself too much. We're being all lovey-dovey and friendly. How cute. But so yeah, if you enjoyed this idea then let me know down below. I'm not doing this to offend anyone. As I said, it's sort of just a way for me to work through things and talk about things that I don't get to talk about a lot, because it's anyone who's going through this sort of stuff understands that it's quite difficult to talk to family and friends about this stuff because you've got that anxiety of pushing them away with your problems of depression and anxiety. So it makes it very difficult to talk about, or when you do try to talk about it with people, sometimes you'll say it wrong, it'll come across incorrectly. Why is Sergio just walking into my house? Bro, what the heck, not cool. Is this set as my front door? It is set as my front door, so why did you not knock? That is a bit weird. But so you find it difficult to talk to people about stuff, and they can become quite defensive and sometimes turn it about themselves, which isn't necessarily what you want or need when you're going through these things. You kind of just want to be heard. You need to be heard after you've gone through stuff. And I won't be going like too personal about why I have these problems. I have them because they stem from a long background of things that didn't go to plan as a youngster in many ways, and in relationships from when I was younger and stuff. So I'm not going to go too much into that, but you know, it's nice for me to have this outlet of YouTube to talk about these things. And also there's like the humour side to it, where, you know, if you don't laugh about it, you're gonna cry about it. So I thought it'd be quite interesting to see how these characters and how the dynamic works. And why is Debbie feeling flirty? You best not be thinking about doing anything. Okay, she has had thoughts of flirting with Sean, and it's not cool. I'm not down with that, so we'll see what happens. Like, possessive of my sim boyfriend. Weird, I know, but it's just because of, I'm trying to make it somewhat realistic to what I go through without actually having my other personality problems interfering with my relationship. Oh wow, actually accurate. Creepy. But yeah, so feel free to give me any comments that you'd like down below. If anyone is also going through these sorts of things of depression, anxiety, and needs an outlet, then feel free to mention it in the comments. Like, I'm here for you, and other people who are going through it could be there for you as well. Like, that's part of why I want to build this community of like support for everyone who's going through all this stuff. Sean's just doing push-ups, I'm making food. Sergio, get out of my house! It's just so weird. But yeah, so I think I've tried to finish this video like 3 times already, so I'm not really sure how else to say like the video is over other than just end it abruptly. But yeah, so as I said, hope you liked it. Feel free to leave comments. I'm here for you guys. This is the thing lots of people go through. It's completely normal. The Sims aren't normal, so we'll see how that pans out, and I just thought it'd be quite interesting. So take care of yourselves, guys. Look after yourselves. Reach out to people if you need to. I'm not trying to make this into some sort of like joke. It's very serious topics, obviously, but I'm just trying to, I suppose, play with the situation a bit to figure things out for myself, and maybe sort of bring more attention to it for other people, so people know that it's okay. It's quite sweet that we're having a little family dinner. Oh, well, I'm leaving, so that's kind of ruining the mood. Stop it, Debbie! Sean's thinking about himself, so it's okay. At least he's not thinking about Debbie. But yeah, so anyway, thanks for watching. Take care of yourselves. Bye bye.